I'm Briony Horgan, professor of planetary science at Purdue University. Just a few weeks ago, we were able to observe one of the moons of Mars, Phobos, passing in front of the sun using our Mastcam-z cameras on board the Perseverance rover on Mars. Phobos and Deimos are a pretty different type of moon than we have here back on Earth. Our moon is this very large body in the sky. Phobos and Deimos, we like to think of them as little potato moons hanging out around in orbit around Mars. They might be captured asteroids. They kind of look like that. They might also have formed when a bigger moon was torn apart by the tidal forces of Mars to make two smaller moons. So to see an eclipse happening, you have to have a moon, and that moon has to be in the plane of the solar system so that it can pass between you standing on a planet and the sun in the sky. And so that's true for the moon here on Earth, and it's true for moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos, and it's true for other moons across the solar system too. Eclipses happen every time the moon passes in front of the sun from our perspective. And so that happens a couple of times a year when the alignments work out just right. And that's true on most planets. So even on Mars, we've been able to capture Phobos and Deimos, the two moons of Mars, passing in front of the sun a few times now. And that's really exciting because it's actually allowed us to refine the orbits of Phobos and Deimos. By watching the angle that they pass in front of the sun, we can check it against our predictions and better understand their orbits. That's really important for planning for future missions going to Phobos and Deimos, of which there are a few coming up in the next few years. So our Mars rover observations are helping refine the astronomy of the solar system. Eclipses on Earth are pretty unique, actually. If you see the pictures of Phobos passing in front of the sun on Mars, you'll see this little tiny spot passing in front of the sun. On Earth, we have a very special kind of eclipse called a total solar eclipse. And that's when the moon passes in front of the sun and completely blocks it out. And even in that eclipse, you can still see a little bit of the sun just peeking around the sides. You can see the corona and all kinds of cool things. And that's very special because because the moon is actually just about the same size in the sky as the sun. Their distance and size just work out so they cover the same amount of area in the sky just to make that total solar eclipse possible. And that's really special. That wasn't always true on Earth. The moon actually used to be a lot closer to the Earth. So the fact that we can now, at this moment in time, see a total solar eclipse, like we're going to get to see later this year, is actually a pretty cool time to be on Earth.